ground shake.
Hello students, we shall start with the chapter 8, that is function overloading and member functions. This chapter has got a weightage of 5 marks, that is you will get one question for 5 marks. This chapter has exactly 5 marks weightage. Okay, the main objectives of this chapters are we will learn need for function overloading, the concept of polymorphism, application of function overloading through simple examples, concepts of inline functions, and we will learn friend functions. Introduction. In the previous chapter, that is classes and objects, we have learnt about classes and objects, the main feature of object-oriented programming. See, classes and objects are the main feature or main characteristics of object-oriented programming. The application of classes with data members and member functions is the principal feature of object-oriented programming to develop and simplify programming methods. In object-oriented programming, the first thing what we should develop is classes and objects. Once the classes and objects have been defined, we can do anything with these classes and objects. The next important feature of object-oriented programming is polymorphism. Polymorphism we learnt in the chapter number 6. What is polymorphism? Polymorphism refers to one name having many forms, different behavior of an instance of an object depending on the situation. See, polymorphism, poly meaning many, morph meaning forms. A function having many forms is called a polymorphism. Even you exhibit polymorphism in your daily life. Say for an instance, consider you are a daughter or you are a girl. Who are you to your parents? To your parents, you are a daughter. For your grandparents, you are a granddaughter. For your friend, you are a friend. For your elder sibling, you are a younger sister. For me, you are a student. The same person, one person exhibiting different behavior at different situation is called polymorphism. So, in our subject, polymorphism can be defined as one name having many forms, different behavior of an instance of an object depending on the situation. Depending on the situation, function or an operator exhibit different behavior. That is called polymorphism. C++ implements polymorphism through function overloading and operator overloading. See, in C++ polymorphism is exhibited in two forms. One is function overloading, another one is operator overloading. The chapter 8 covers about function overloading. We will learn about function overloading in depth. Now, need for function overloading. Why function overloading is required? See, if the question is asked, need for function overloading, you will write these points. If the question is asked like advantages of function overloading, write the advantages of function overloading, you will write the same answer. Okay. The first point is function overloading means two or more functions having same name but differ in the number of arguments or data type of arguments. So, function overloading means two or more functions having the same function name but it will differ in number and types of arguments. That is called function overloading. So, therefore, it is said that function name is overloaded. See, two or more functions will be defined with the same function name. That is called function overloading. Function overloading, therefore, is the process of defining same function name to carry out similar types of activities with various data items. So a same function name will be used for multiple functions, but it will do a similar kind of task. Only changes, we will change the number and types of arguments. That is called function overloading. The main advantages of function overloading are: when different functions are created for different operations, then user has called respective function depending on the situation. Instead, for different situations, if the same function is called with different arguments using function overloading, then the compiler automatically decides about the appropriate function by comparing the argument types used in the call to the function and calls the required function. Thus, the code is executed faster. See, meaning when you write two or more functions with the same name, what will happen? The compiler will take care of. What we used to do in our first POC, we used to write different functions with different names. If I want 4 functions to be written, I used to choose 4 different names for 4 functions. So I must think and I must decide which function I should call right now. So this will be a burden for me. This will be an overhead for me. If I use the function overloading, what happens? All the 4 functions will be written with the same function name. But what I will change? The number and type. Type means data type. I will change the number and data type of the arguments. When I do so, I don't think which function has to be called. Instead of me, the compiler will take care of the things, and the compiler will think and decide which function has to be called based on the arguments what I pass. So this will be an easier task for the programmer. So the code is executed faster. Using function overloading, the code can be executed faster. Why? Because user don't think. Instead, the compiler will take care of which function has to be called based on the arguments you pass. The next advantage is it is easier to understand the flow of information and debug. See, it will be quite easy for us to understand and it will be easy for us to debug. If any error occurs, that can be debugged very easily when used with function overloading rather than using normal functions. Next one is code maintenance is easy. Code maintenance easy. Why? Because 4 or more functions will be written with the same function name. That will be quite easy for me to handle. If not, I must remember all 4 or 5 function names. That is quite complicated for us. Next advantage is easier interface between programs and real-world objects. So using function overloading, the transaction or the conversation between the programs and the real-world objects will be quite easier. These are the advantages of using function overloading rather than using normal functions. Next one is definition and declaration of overloaded functions. How we are going to define and declare the overloaded functions. Function overloading, how it can be declared and how it can be defined. See, this is one example I have written. See, this is a function name called sum. This function has got 2 arguments. See, this is called argument or parameters. I am passing 2 arguments A and B of the type integer. 2 arguments has been passed of the type integer. This function returns integer type of data. This is my first function. See my second function. My second function name is also called sum. See, sum function, what the name I have given for the first function, the same name I have given for the second function also. This is called function overloading. 2 or more functions having same name. But what the difference will be? The difference will be in the number and type of arguments. See, the first set of arguments are integer kind. The second set of arguments are of float type. See, the number of arguments here also 2 arguments. Here also 2 arguments. Float P, float Q. 2 arguments have been passed. Number of arguments are same, but the type of arguments changes. Here is integer, here is float. This is the difference. This is what makes the function overloading. See, and the return type of this function is float. This is called function, overloaded function declaration. I am declaring the names of the functions to be overloaded. See, the function sum takes 2 integer arguments in different from the function sum that takes 2 float arguments. These two are different functions. They are not one and the same because these arguments makes these two functions as different. This is called function overloading. The main factor in function overloading is a function's argument list. See, what we concentrate on? We will concentrate on the number and types of arguments because the function name will be same. In last year, what we were doing? We were concentrating on the names of the function. For this I used to give as sum, for this I used to give as sum p or some other name. But here the function name will be same. What differs? It differs in the number and type of arguments. C++ can distinguish overloaded functions by the number and type of arguments. If there are two functions having same name and different types of arguments or different number of arguments, then function overloading is invoked automatically by the compiler. See, function overloading is one of the most important feature of C++, which is taken care by the compiler itself, because I don't concentrate or I don't worry which function I should call now. Who will take care of? Compiler will take care of. So, this function overloading is also known as compile time polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism is nothing but function overloading. To overload a function, each overloaded function must be declared and defined separately. How many functions you write? Those functions should be declared and defined separately. Another example, consider this is one function called product. Product is a function which takes three arguments of the type integer. See, int p, int q, int r. I'm passing 3 arguments of the type integer, and this function returns integer type of data. Second function I am taking as product. See, the names of the first and second function is same, that is product. When the function names are same, then function overloading is invoked. But what differs? It differs in number and type of arguments. See, here 3 arguments are there. Even here 3 arguments are there. But the data type changes. Here they are of the type integer. Here x, y, z are of the type float. And this function, product function, will return float type of data. This is function overloading. See, these 2 lines are called as function overloading declaration. This is function declaration. Functions are defined here. Overloaded functions are defined here. Defining a function is nothing but writing the code for the function. Declaring means you will write just the name of the function. See, the definition has been written here. Product is the name of my function. 3 arguments have been passed, int p, int q, int r, and the return type is integer. What I will do? I will display a statement product is equal to whatever the values I pass. The value of p, q and r are multiplied and the product has been displayed here. Next one is product function, which accepts 3 arguments of the type float. Whatever the values you pass here, the product is going to be found and the return type is of the type float. See, the code I have written as product is equal to x into y into z into z. Nothing but x square into y square into z square. If you want, you can just write x into y into z. Which values I will pass here? Say for an example, I will write 2, 3, 1. 2 into 3 into 1, 6 is the answer that is going to be displayed here. If I pass values 2.0, 3.0 and 1.0. Float means point something will come here. What value is going to be displayed here? If I multiply just x into y into z, 6.0 is going to be displayed. So the way you want, you can write your code here. Okay, the compiler automatically chooses the right type of functions depending on the type of arguments. See, if I pass 2, 3, 4 value, this function will be called. If I pass the values 2.0, 3.0 and 1.0, this function will be called. Why? It accepts floating type of data. So based on the type of value and the number of value you pass, a particular function is going to be invoked. Okay. Next one is restrictions on overloaded functions. What you can't use, with what you can't use your overloaded functions. See, each function in a set of overloaded function must have different argument list. Always the overloaded function should have different set of argument list. Either it may be number of arguments or type of arguments. You can't use with the same number of arguments or same type of arguments. That is first restriction. Second restriction is, if type def is used for a naming function, then function is not considered as different type. See, you can't use your overloaded functions with your type def. See, type def is one of the feature of C++ which is used to assign alternative names to existing data type, usually with the user defined data types. Consider an example. If the user defined data type student anta irutte, a student anna ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ನಾನು ಆಗ್ಲಾಗ್ಲೇ student ಅಂತ ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, I will create a type def called stu, stu. Instead of student, if I type stu, it will work. That is called type def. ಟೈಪ್ ಡೆಫ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಇರೋ ಡೇಟಾ ಟೈಪ್ಸಿಗೆ, ಯೂಸರ್ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಟೈಪ್ಸಿಗೆ ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ ನೇಮ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ನೇಮ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ಗೈಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ನಿಕ್ ನೇಮ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಟೈಪ್ ಡೆಫ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಓವರ್ಲೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್. Next one, calling overloaded functions. How I can call the overloaded functions? The following programming example shows how overloaded functions can be called. This is one example program I have written. See, this program has been written to compute volume of a cone, cube and cylinder using overloaded functions. So I want to find the volume of a cube and cylinder. Your program always begins with preprocessor directives, and I have included two things. One is iostream.h, another one is conio.h. See, my class name is Fun Overload. Fun Overload is the name of my class. In public section, I am writing one member function, that is volume. I am passing one argument, that is a, of the type integer, and this member function will return integer type of data. See, code has been written here only. Code has been written here only. So this is nothing but defining member function inside the class, right? Okay, this code has been written in order to find the volume of a cube. What is the volume of a cube? The formula is a cube, right? So return a into a into a. If I pass the value 2, 2 into 2 into 2, what is that? 8 will be returned. See, return type is integer. This is a formula what I have written in order to find the volume of a cube. Next one. In order to find the volume of a cone, I have written the same function name as the first member function, that is volume. See, my second member function name is also volume only, right? So volume, I will pass two arguments of the type double R, double H, and the return type is also double. So what is the volume of the cone? The formula is 1 by 3 pi r square H. So return 1 by 3 means 0.33. Pi value is 3.14. So 0.33 into 3.14 into R into H. See how I have written my code. I can't write the code just like this. Into has to be returned. R square has been written as R into R. Small things has to be taken care of. So next one is, in order to find the volume of a cylinder, I have written the same member function name, that is volume, and this also takes two arguments, see, but they are of the different type. One is double R, another one is int. See, the first argument takes double, here also double, here it is double, here it is int. See, I changed the type of the argument. So in order to find the volume of a cylinder, what is the formula? Pi r square h. So how I have written 3.14 into r, right? Next one, in order to find the volume of a cuboid, same function name has been taken, that is volume, and I am passing three arguments of the type double L, double B, double H. What is the formula to find the volume of a cuboid? L into B into H, length into breadth into height. So written, whatever the values you pass, length into breadth into height, right? Okay, these are the member functions which has been defined inside the class, and all four functions 1, 2, 3 and 4 functions have the same name, that is volume. When the same function name has been written for 4 functions, this is said to be function is overloaded, whereas the main thing what we concentrate is on number and type of arguments. Here the changes will happen. These things will be taken care by the compiler. Compiler will decide which function has to be called based on the values I pass. Look at my main function. See, fun overload is the name of my class, and I am creating one object, that is F1. F1 is an object for the class fun overload. So see out, volume of the cube is F1 dot volume. See, I will tell only volume function has to be called. I don't tell which volume function has to be called. I will pass the value 10. 10 means it's of the type integer. Which function is going to be called? This function, because it accepts integer kind of data. 10 into 10 into 10, that value, whatever the result you get, that is going to be sent here. So that value will be displayed. Volume of the cube is 10 into 10 into 10, that is 1000 will be displayed here. Next, control comes here. Volume of the cone is F1 dot. Using the object F1, I will call volume by passing two floating point values or two double values, 2.0, 3.0, 2.0, 3.0, double. See, double. So this is used to find the volume of a cone. So what it will do, which two value will be copied to radius, 3 value will be 3.0 will be copied to height. So product will be found out. 0.33 into 3.14 into 2.0 into 3.0. Whatever the value you get, that will be returned to the calling function. The value will come here and it will be displayed. The control will come to the next line. Volume of the cylinder is equal to F1 dot volume. I will call the, using the object F1, I will call the volume function by passing one double value, another one is 3 is integer. Which function will be called? This function. See, 2.0 is a double type of data and 3 is a integer type of data. So this is used, this formula is used to find the volume of a cylinder. So written 3.142 into radius into height. So 3.14 into 2.0 into 2.0 into 3. Whatever the value you get, that product will be returned back to the calling function and it will be displayed here. Why I have written the cout. Next, cout, display volume of the cuboid, F1 dot volume. What I will pass, I am using the object F1 for the class fun overload. I will call the volume function by passing 3 arguments of the type double, 5.0, 6.0, 7.0. So based on the number and type of arguments, see 3 arguments are here of the type double. 5.0 will be copied to L, length, 6.0 will be copied to breadth, 7.0 will be copied to height. So the values whatever you pass from here, it is going to be received and the values will be multiplied, and whatever the product you get, that double value, the result will be sent back to the calling function. See, this is calling function, these are called functions because I am calling the function's volume using the object f1 from the main function, calling function. These are called functions because these functions are being called from the main function. Okay, got the difference between calling function and called function? These concepts you have learnt in your first PUC and you should be thorough with it. Okay, endl. So control comes to the next line, return 0. Return 0, it doesn't return anything. Get ch, get a user choice. This is the end of my main function. This is end of my class. Okay, so what is the output? Volume of the cube will be displayed, volume of the cone, volume of the cylinder, volume of the cuboid. Whatever the values you have passed, those things have been multiplied based on the formulas written and the values will be displayed in the output screen. The above program finds the volume of cube, cuboid, cone or cylinder depending on the number and type of arguments provided as input to the function called volume. Therefore, though all the functions have the same name, volume, appropriate function is selected based on data type of argument list. The compiler selects the required functions through function overloading. See, I have written 4 functions with the same name. This implements the concept of function overloading. See, I am not telling which function has to be called. Who is taking care of which volume function has to be called? Based on the values and based on the number and type of values passed, the compiler will take care of which function has to be called. This is the concept of function overloading. Further concepts will be continued in the next session. If you get any doubts, please do come back to me. Thank you.